Well. I love that cover, Lou. That guy, he reminded me. Do I have a brother or somebody that I didn't know about?
Mikey
out there?
crossing the Merrimack.
Yeah, crossing the Merrimack.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you could walk across the Merrimack. It was so polluted, and that's not the story anymore. That was very clever of you to do. That come out really nice.
Just AI, no big deal.
Listen, sitting next to us,
Yeah.
Professor Richard Padova, and each time you come in, you bring a different topic, and Louis and I get into it.
Yeah,
and he likes it. He really
Right.
do.
Okay.
When I told him
Excellent.
a couple of weeks ago you were going to be on with us, and he turned around and said, "Oh, good." He says, "What's the conversation?" I says, "The American Revolution, the Revolutionary War." Really?
I like it.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Good.
I'm New Englander born and bred. I love stories about the Revolution.
There you go. I mean, we take it for granted. You're driving around Boston, you're sitting in traffic, you're really pissed off at people. And, when you think about everything that started, I mean, the beginning right here.
Yeah.
And nobody really, your mindset isn't like that. You're more ticked at the guy who just cut you off or whatever the case might be. And, something, it makes me feel good when I read about it and I see guys like the John Adams and the book Common Sense that was passed out back then. And speaking about books, I just want to say I just paged. This is a book that Richard put together, and something. I'm dying to get in. It's called 25 Unsung Heroes and Heroines of the American Revolution.
Yes, man.
And there were quite a few.
Yeah, that's only a sampling. Yeah.
This is good. No, I look forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you.
That book, Common Sense, I don't know. It was more of something like this, I would
pamphlet.
think.
It was a pamphlet.
Yeah. What was his name? Paine?
Thomas Paine.
And that was passed out to the 13 colonies. And everybody, I mean, they loved it.
Oh, yeah. It was put out January.
Planted the seed.
Planted the seed, right. It was put out January of 1776. And it was meant to convince the people still sitting on the fence that we need to fight the British. There's no doubt about it. Get off the fence and let's all get on the same page and try to get our independence. So.
Was the basis of the revolution just to try and get recognition of the 13 colonies, say in Parliament in England? Was that the principle?
The essence of it, right. There was the broader picture there about being free from the constraints there from England, and starting developing our own nation, being independent, doing how.
I think they wanted to be recognized more than anything
and
else.
They wanted recognition, right? For their efforts, and of course, then there was all the heavy taxation there from Parliament.
Yeah, we're going to get into that now.
Yeah.
But first of all, I'd like you to tell people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Well, I currently teach at North Shore Community College and Northern Essex Community College, mostly history and government. And I like to self-publish books every few years. So
don't we all?
And I don't know how I have the time, but I do it anyway. But it's a labor of love. And so this is my fifth book now since 2007. All right. So, I enjoy it. And when I was thinking at the end of 2025, okay, what would be a good topic for my next book, which I wanted to put out in 2026 now. So I'm thinking, all right, it's the big birthday of the United States, right? 250, right? So I'm thinking, gee, and of course, I teach American history. And I'm like, there's so many people who played pivotal roles in the American Revolution, but yet they don't make it into the history books. And I thought that was an injustice, So I'm like, I'm going to think about, people and research them who do not make it into the history books, but I think they deserve some recognition for their efforts in helping us to win our independence from Great Britain. So.
People recognize, and I don't know what's in this book. You just handed it to me a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
Is Abigail Adams mentioned in your book?
No, she is not. I do have some females who are mentioned in my book,
Okay. I just took a shot
but
because she was, I mean,
yeah,
they say women sometimes have, they speak a lot and have a big mouth.
yeah,
She was,
yeah.
she
She
was
fits
right
that
out there, boy. She
description, right, right.
she was out there.
No, you're true. You're right. But see, I wanted to go, whatever women are in here and men, I wanted to go for the ones that are not as well known. Okay.
I see.
But yet they had important accomplishments, right? So I'm like, well, everybody knows about Abigail Adams. Let's go for somebody like Deborah Sampson, Anna Strong, Sybil Luddington, right? Not household names.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But yet they contributed to the outcome of the American Revolution. So,
You know something? I think it's fantastic. I think history. I love history.
Yeah.
My favorite subject in school was history and geography.
Glad
I
to
love
hear that.
geography.
I used to teach geography when we used to offer it at Northern Essex, but then they eliminated it from the curriculum. But I was the one teaching it when we offered it. So, yeah.
Yeah. You and I spoke off air. I mentioned about your dad,
Yes.
Sam.
Potter.
Yep.
Yep.
And you picked up quite a bit from him. I know you did. He was a hell of an electrician. I know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I know
Something
that.
I would not be good at, but
Me either. Call me Sparky.
Yeah.
But his memorabilia collection.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I think a lot of that.
Yeah. Was passed on, rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
No question about it.
Love of local history, patriotism. A love of the city of Lawrence. So yeah. Involvement outside of work and in different clubs and organizations. So yeah.
The heritage.
Lawrence Heritage.
Lawrence Heritage. That serves a lot of people.
Quite a lot. Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yes,
It does an
yes,
awful lot,
yes,
and it draws a
yes.
lot of people. Not only just people from Massachusetts, but
all
from
over.
elsewhere.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, Lawrence was a planned city.
Mhm.
You also do a lot of work for the Lawrence History
the
Center.
Center. I used to be on the board of directors.
I know.
there.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. With
Good for
Pam
you.
Yameen. Yep.
They never asked me.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, Mike, I don't know. You have to I don't know. You have to do some lobbying there, I guess, for yourself. I mean,
I have to lobby to be elected. Doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. But I'm glad that you picked up a lot on what your
Thank
dad.
you. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Because you have quite.
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a house you have, but I know you have an awful lot of. I'm going to call it stuff.
Yes, a collection.
If we put you and Joe Bella together, the studio would be full.
Look out. Yeah, I know. Really. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're having a big birthday. The country's having a big birthday, and 50 years ago, to me, I was in my 30s. I just turned 30 and 31, and it seemed like it was just like yesterday. Now all of a sudden,
well, I'm sure
250th.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the unfortunate thing about getting old. You don't know it yet,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna give you the precursor.
Yep.
The older you get, the quicker time goes.
I've heard that from others. Yeah.
It's not fair. The older you get, it should go slower.
Right.
You would think. Right.
And it doesn't. It goes just the
but
opposite.
The opposite. Yeah.
I just before we get into it, really quick, I just want to say to Louis in particular.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to Barbara last night, and
Yep.
she says, "What's the show going to be about today?" So I told her about the American Revolution, and I was kind of taken by how, in those days, how women kind of took a back seat to almost everything. But how this Abigail Adams was right up front, politicking and outspoken. And I said, we're going to be talking. And I says, and, I'm going to mention a few names and this, that, and the other thing. And I says, I'm going to talk about Samuel Adams' wife. And out of the clear blue, this is gospel. Out of the clear blue, she says, "Oh, Abigail.
Yeah, John's
I says, how the hell do you remember that? I mean, where did that come from? See, a lightning bolt or what?
Well,
Who the hell would?
she was a pretty prominent part of the revolution.
Huh?
She was a pretty prominent part of early America.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's not a name. I mean, I found it extremely weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I said, where did you pull that? That come out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. So the beginning of the revolution, it was created and caused by what exactly?
Okay, well, basically, Parliament kept heaping taxes on the colonists living here in America, and there was the Stamp Act.
What was that about?
Okay, so if you purchased certain documents, okay, like a newspaper or various court documents that you needed, okay, you had to pay a tax to have it stamped, okay, and it was a money raiser for Parliament, okay, that was hoisted upon the colonists here,
And it all went back to
and to Parliament after, right? Okay, so they kept heaping these various taxes, like the stamp tax, okay, on the colonists here, and one after another. There was the Intolerable Acts, the Quartering Act, a lot of others, the Quebec Act, and of course the rallying cry among the colonists was no taxation without representation. Right. Okay. If you're going to tax us, at least give us a say,
a voice.
Yeah. Right. Okay. But Parliament was across the pond, as we say, right?
3,000 miles
right,
away.
Right. And the colonists were over here on this side of the Atlantic, basically powerless, voiceless, So finally they had it. They're like, we can't take this anymore. All right. We're sick and tired of all these unfair taxes that you're slapping on us, and we don't get a voice in Parliament. So Thomas Paine, with common sense, among other things as well, that was like, okay, that's it. We have to go to war now. You left us with no choice. So
big decision, because
yes,
you want to call it a militia? I mean, it was a rag team of people,
a ragtag group of farmers, basically, right? Who did not receive like military training like the British did, So the odds were stacked against the colonists there right from the start.
Oh, I know, especially in numbers and everything else.
Right. Troop strength, military hardware, uniforms, food, everything that was needed for battle. We were behind the eight ball here.
I think if France didn't give the powder, the gunpowder to the colonists.
Thanks to the Marquis de Lafayette. Yes. He was the liaison there with France, the Marquis de Lafayette. And we can thank him for the French giving us troops and money, which helped put us over the top and cross the finish line.
I was going to say, without them,
we might not have won. And we might all be speaking with British accents today.
But this wasn't about any particular allegiance with the colonies. It was about being an enemy with England.
Right. Your enemy is
my
my
enemy
enemy.
is my friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So the French were all too happy to help us.
You want to fight the British? We're in.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. And again, the Marquis de Lafayette was like the contact, the point person there for that, and he convinced the King of France to give us troops and money and whatever else we needed, which helped us get over the top.
I like that Marquis. I like to be known as Marquis de Lamazo.
Okay, from now on, you're Marquis de Lamazo. Marquis of Lamazo.
Yeah, it has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
So when did England decide that they were going to come over and kind of enforce rule on the colonies? There were 13 colonies at the time.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much right from the start. Once they saw that, the colonists were settling here, and see, the British Treasury was bankrupt because of all the wars they had fought with France. Their longtime enemy.
They're not friendly?
No, not at all. Nope. I mean, now, of course, it's different, but back then they were longtime enemies. So the British Treasury was depleted. Okay. So they're like, ooh, we have all those colonists now.
All the colonies were a revenue enhancer.
Right.
All they were.
Right. So, all right, let's tax the colonists now, and we can bring in that additional revenue and build the British treasury back up again.
Much like the current rulers of Massachusetts, by the way.
Yeah, you can make that analogy.
Yeah,
I guess.
good. Yeah. Very easily.
Okay.
Very good. So it was a protest that led to a revolution.
Yes, correct. Right. The British, see, they were actually British citizens here. They were British colonists in America, right? Okay. And again, their response to the heavy taxation was, we're not going to take it anymore, and we're going to fight you now, basically. This is not fair, and we're going to war over this.
Understandable.
Okay,
but it takes a lot of cookies, boy, and big stones to be able to turn around and say, we're going to get together and we're going to put these farmers and give them muskets with little powder. I'm sure they had to watch how many times they shot. I mean, and we're going to go up against England.
It was a gamble, but thanks to the commander-in-chief, General George Washington, he, of course, played a pivotal role.
When did he become commander-in-chief? At what point?
I don't know the exact date, but 1774, 75.
Just prior to
the actual start. Okay. Yeah. See, the second continent, either the first or the second Continental Congress, named him commander-in-chief. Okay, and that was 1774, 75. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and he kind of was the glue that held everybody together.
Yes. And whipped them as best as he could into shape, and tried to get
in what 6 months?
Well, I know. Good luck to
basic
him.
training,
right?
With the Fort Dix.
But, but he did it though. He was respected, right? He was resourceful. He tried his best to give them the rations that they needed, the clothing, the shoes, besides actual guns, but the secondary stuff there, which was just as important, he tried to secure it for them as well. So,
all right, I'm looking at your book, and I'm not ignorant of the American Revolution. It's kind of a hobby of mine, but I'm not a professor.
Yep.
You did a really good job, because I don't recognize almost any of the names in there.
Yes. Well, mission accomplished. Thank you, Lou. Yes.
Except for Benedict Arnold.
Right.
Which is a really confusing story in the American Revolution, because he was a bold participant in the revolution, but ended up characterized as a traitor.
Right.
So summarize his story for us.
Okay. Yes. See, he, despite what he did, what he's known for, being a traitor. Okay. As you'll see in the book, he actually did well in battle. Okay, commanding troops. Okay, but then apparently he didn't feel like he was getting enough recognition. Okay, he was being turned down for promotions. Okay, so he's like, I think I'm going to have to do something here now to make up for that, but in a bad way. Okay, and that's when he hatched a plan with the British to hand over West Point. Okay. All right. And the plot was discovered.
I don't know that story.
Read the book. Read the book.
Read the book. Okay. Page 12.
And
he was the first free agent in America.
Yes.
Switched teams.
He switched teams, right? Okay. But the plot got discovered, and that's what sent it all downhill for him. But other than that, okay, he was a good person.
He was a good commander,
a commander of the troops.
He was bringing troops through the woods of Maine, trying to get up to Quebec, wasn't he, to protect Quebec?
Right. He was all over the place, and he was recognized, for his battle, his commanding skills, okay, being a commander. But then again, he didn't feel like he was getting enough recognition, enough pay, being turned down for promotions. And unfortunately, he felt he had to rectify the situation in his own way, but not in a good way, though.
He was essentially a mercenary.
Yeah, basically, you could say that. Right. Yeah.
I was reading and doing a little bit of research prior to the show about how poorly the British Army were treated, the members of the British Army. They would actually go into a tavern at night, and people who were completely blitzed, they called them some kind of a gang. I forget, but they would grab them.
Sounds like a Tuesday night in Boston is what it sounds like.
They would take them and throw them in the wagon. The next morning, the guys would wake up and they'd be in the British service. But as far as the food, it was awful in the conditions.
Well,
the financial state of England was a huge issue in terms of England defending in the revolution.
Right.
They just didn't have the money to pull it off.
No, exactly. And that's why they were taxing the colonists there as, like you said, a revenue enhancer.
Why was England in such a bad financial state at that time?
Okay. Well, again, because of all.
Don't tell me to look at your book. All right.
Well, no, I won't. No, but because of all the years of fighting the French,
Yeah.
okay, and like I tell my students in class when I'm discussing wars with them, war is not free or inexpensive. Okay, if you're going to go to war with another country, you got to pony up, right? Okay, paying the troops, paying for supplies, for military hardware, and all that. Okay, so again, the British Treasury was just flat out broke, and they were desperate, and that's when Parliament started heaping all those taxes on the colonists here in America to try to replenish the British Treasury.
It was expensive running the world, Mike. Which is essentially what they were doing.
Exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way you can't blame them, but I don't know. But they did what they had to do. But
so the British had control.
But the example would have been the United States was headed the same way India was headed, because that's essentially what they did to India. They just basically raped India financially.
Right.
Every other way.
Exactly right. There was a pattern.
Although those weren't English colonists.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. But kind of the same analogy,
relationship,
if you will, relationship. Right. Yeah.
But can you imagine trying to bring a division of soldiers through the woods of up in New Hampshire, Maine, trying to get to Canada with the weather conditions in the wintertime?
I know.
And no, you really don't have a GPS.
That's right. Right. And one of the people I profiled here, John Stark from New Hampshire, he did just that. He assembled a group of militia up in New Hampshire and marched them on foot down to Boston. Okay, so so again, they did what they had to do there, right? They were, today we say we're in it, you're in it to win it. You could say that was that back then. There, they were in it to win it, and they did whatever they had to do.
You little American Idol, drop a name. That's where you got that from, American Idol. You're in it to win it, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
There was no turning back. And again, George Washington was the right person at the right time to come along and win this thing.
Luckily, huh?
Luckily, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You had 13 colonies, 1775, 2.5 million people.
Roughly, right. When they did the first census in 1790, they counted a little over 3 million people.
So that's where they got that 2.5 number from.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the casualty list on both sides, Brits and the colonists.
Yeah.
And they were pretty equal.
Pretty equal. Right.
Pretty much 25,000 lives were lost on both sides, not because of combat.
No, not necessarily. Right.
Because there was a lot of disease, a lot of the conditions were terrible, especially in the British prisons where they put people. I mean, they wouldn't feed them. I mean, geez, it was awful. Awful. It's amazing how people can do to people. You know what I mean? I look at what happened to the Jewish people, and I don't know how can you do that to a human being.
Well, I know 5 or 6 million Jewish people, plus 5 or 6 million others like gypsies, gays and lesbians, the mentally disabled. 11 million people, victims altogether in the Holocaust. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Listen, our telephone number here is 978-659-0072. Once again, 978-659-0072. If you'd like to say something to Richard, say hello, have a question, please give us a call. We're going to go out to break, and we're going to come back, and we'll be talking to Professor Padova a little bit more about the Civil War, because there's quite a bit. This is a very you could talk hours on this. I know you could without even trying. So, Louis, why don't you take us out, and we'll be right back, everybody.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-273-5050 or visit GamblingHelpLineMA.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. We all loved your car. Yeah. Us teenagers there, we loved your car.
And we are back. A little late, but we are back. You and I get going. I mean, we just keep reminiscing.
Yeah. There's a lot to reminisce about.
We did have a lot of history together we're talking about the Mullis University. You know, your connection with the Heritage State Park, you'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Okay,
You've got
sure.
big plans for the 4th of July,
yes.
which kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about, the revolution.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Every year, as some may know, I put on an old-fashioned, what I call an old-fashioned 4th of July celebration at Lawrence Heritage State Park.
Do you wear the white wig?
No, but Lori and I do dress up as John and Abigail Adams, though. But I wear a tri-corner
There's
hat.
that name Abigail again.
Yeah, see? Yeah, she's out there, Mike. You know, she's, yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
So this year now, it's a double milestone. So it's the 20th anniversary of the old-fashioned 4th of July that I've been doing, okay? And, of course, it's the 250th birthday of the United States. So this year, instead of a one-day celebration on July 4th, I'm expanding it to a two-day celebration, okay? July 3rd and
double your
July
pleasure,
4th.
double your fun.
And yes, double the food, double the entertainment, all right? I'm going all out, and I'm able to do this because of donations, okay? So, briefly, Friday, July 3rd at 11 a.m., Abigail Adams will be visiting Lawrence Heritage, okay, to talk about
Barbara, did you hear that? Your friend Abigail will be here in Lawrence.
To talk about her experiences during the American Revolution, okay, and then I'm putting on a light lunch afterwards. And then Saturday, July 4th at 11 a.m., the Live Oak Jazz Band out of Methuen will be performing until about 12 noon.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, yes. Yeah. And then at 12 noon, we'll have the customary flag raising, brief oration by public officials, the singing of the national anthem. Joey Grieve, you probably know him, right, or the name anyway. And then we
saw his picture in a paper yesterday.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And then we have a little parade around the park. And then we come inside, we do a public reading of the Declaration of Independence. Then there's a nice buffet luncheon, and then it concludes with free raffles. Everything usually wraps up by 3 p.m. So my book will be available at Lawrence Heritage beginning May 19th when I start my 22nd summer season there. They're free. So, so everybody now has more than one reason to come to Lawrence Heritage and see me and take one of my tours. Okay?
No, I think it's wonderful that you guys really maintain the history. And
we try hard, and also, by the way, so September 1st, at the end of summer this year, will be our 40th anniversary there of Lawrence Heritage. So I'm planning that day another celebration to mark the occasion. That'll be open to the public, free and open to the public.
So you really don't get summer vacation?
No, I don't know what that word means, what those words mean. Yeah, but it's a
You're
labor
lucky
of
you got
love.
an understanding wife.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it's literally a labor of love. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, you do tours on the river too.
Yes. So besides my walking tours and museum tours,
There's 1, 2, yeah.
Okay.
3.
Okay. So everybody make a note of it. Starting Saturday, July 11th.
Yep.
Okay. And for the next 7 Saturdays after that, I give guided boat tours of the Merrimack River. Okay. You do have to call Lawrence Heritage and make a reservation, 978-794-1655, because the boat only holds so many people. Okay?
Understandable.
So, yes. And 10 a.m. So after you make the reservation, tell me what day you want, how many people are in your party. It's Saturdays. You have to be at the Bashara Boathouse in South Lawrence. Okay. 10 a.m. And we usually get back around 12 noon. And everybody
you're out for 2 hours.
Learns a lot, and they have a wonderful time. Yes, 2 hours. Yes.
I've been out in the Merrimack with Rocky Morrison.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my friend Rocky. Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that tremendously.
Yep. Yeah, he does a good job as well. Oh, yes. Yep.
I mean,
and his clean
this is
project,
the purpose of whatever money they raise is to try to clean up the Merrimack.
Yes, he does a good job. Yes.
Compared to where it is now, compared to where it was when I was a kid, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yep.
The Bunker Hill Monument that stands
yes,
there?
yes.
The Battle of Breeds Hill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Breeds Hill is kind of like the
Yeah.
the area there, okay,
Yeah.
that encompasses Bunker Hill.
It's got a broad stroke.
Yeah. Some people took a little liberty, pardon the pun, okay, and it's kind
Very
of
good.
Very good.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so
I like that.
it's kind of a misnomer, but the history books all say Bunker Hill, but you gotta be a little careful there, though. Yeah, so.
I remember in grammar school we took a trip there, and it was very. I mean, I was in awe. To me, you're in the 6th or 7th grade. That's a big thing.
Oh yeah, you're in awe there. Yes, yes.
Plus, getting the day out of school.
Oh,
whoa!
Who could argue with that?
Doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah.
I like it. Could we come back next week?
Yeah.
And the thing that Boston is known for, and everybody keeps making reference about, is the Boston Tea Party. And again, this is a rebellion against the tax that was being put on
tea.
tea.
Right. December 16th, 1773, when the colonists that night dressed up as Native Americans to disguise themselves and try to, make it look like they were, that the Native Americans were to blame, right? And tossed all that tea into Boston Harbor. Yeah.
It was symbolic.
It was symbolic. Yeah. But then, of course, Parliament, when it was, of course, once they found out, which was inevitable, that's when they punished the colonists by passing the Intolerable Acts. Okay. So yet again, here we go, more taxes now and regulations being imposed on the colonists. And one of the main things the Intolerable Acts did in response to the Boston Tea Party was shutting down Boston Harbor and cutting off, supplies, which economically now, right, would hurt fiscally, whatever you want to call it, monetarily would hurt, and it was intended as a punishment, would hurt the colonists now by shutting down their harbor there. Yeah.
The Merrimack Valley played a key role in the Revolution as well. In fact, Newburyport had a tea party before Boston had a tea party.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In Market Square, and a lot of that history, you can still walk by a lot of that history, which is fascinating.
Yes, the custom house there is loaded with history. These custom houses, like in Salem, Mass, as well. That's where they used to collect the tariffs. Okay, from the incoming ships with the cargo. And now most of them are museums nowadays. Those that still survive, like Newburyport and Salem. Yeah.
A lot of history, and sometimes history comes back to repeat itself, right?
Yes, it's true what they say. It's true, absolutely true. Yeah,
it's crazy. I give the colonists so much credit. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
John Hancock, what do you have to say about him?
Okay, well, a very patriotic American colonist,
but very important.
Important, yes. He, of course, is perhaps best known as having the biggest signature on
Can't miss it.
Right? Can't miss it on the Declaration of Independence. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that he had a big ego, though. Okay.
I just want to sidetrack you
go ahead.
For a second.
Yeah.
Back in 1961, again, our football team did very, very well.
Yeah.
And
at Lawrence High School.
At Lawrence High School.
Yeah.
And we had a game ball, and we all signed it. For whatever reason, don't ask me why. I'm not John Hancock. I don't think my ego is that big, but my signature is like 3 times anybody else's. It starts here and ends over there. And it's at the History Center. And every once in a while, I'll have somebody call me and say, I was at the History Center. I was looking. Your name is all, you can't miss it, Even if you're in your 80s, you don't even need glasses to see it. It's funny. But that's what I think about with John Hancock.
Yeah, and that's perhaps what he's best known for, right? But of course, no, he did play a crucial role.
He wasn't hiding from the fact that he was signing it. That's for sure. He wanted everybody to know.
Right. That's right. And here's a fun fact, okay, regarding that. Even though we celebrate Independence Day on July 4th, okay, it was actually August.
Wasn't signed.
No, right, okay. Most of the delegates there at the meeting there to come up to draft the Declaration of Independence, right? Most of the delegates did not sign it until August 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, but yet because it was approved on July 4th, that became Independence Day, right? But some people think, well, shouldn't August 2nd be Independence Day? Because that's when most of the delegates actually signed it. Okay. But, we have July 4th, and that's not going to change, and that's fine, but.
And tell me if I'm wrong, because my impression is most of the signers of the Declaration fell upon hard times. The British targeted them rather severely.
Right. They paid a price for their boldness and for what they tried to do there to get freedom for the colonies, right? Independence. Yeah. Yep. So
how about how important was Freemason Paul Revere?
Quite important. Of course, he's perhaps most famous for his Midnight Ride, which, by the way, as we may know, he did not complete.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay. Right. Okay. He's in the history book. So I did not include him in my book because he gets enough attention in the history books. I went for the lesser known people, but who still had
good.
I saw our Facebook
right?
I saw our Facebook post on Patriots Day where they're talking about Paul Revere's ride and all the Dunkin' Donuts he could have stopped in along the
way. And I'll tell you, Lori and I visited Concord recently, and there is a historic site there. There's a marker, a boulder with a plaque that marks the spot, on Route 2A, where he was stopped by the British. And because of that, was not able to finish his route.
Oh, that's the reason why he didn't finish.
Right, because the British stopped him. Yes, right. Whereas Dawes and Prescott had better luck.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Okay. But yet Revere is the one who gets into the history books, though. Right. But what about Dawes? What about Prescott?
Right.
But again, that's history sometimes for you, right? Whether intentional or not.
And they're writing to warn against arms confiscation. The British are after munitions and ammunition and other weapons.
Right, because they were desperate, right?
Trying to control,
right,
It's basically gun control.
You could say that. Yeah, that's true, And another fallacy about, Paul Revere's ride, the British are coming, No, he didn't say that. Why? Because all the colonists were British, right? So what do you mean they're coming? We're already here.
I never thought of that.
All right.
I never thought of that.
Okay. So what we think he actually said was the regulars are coming. Okay. Which would reference the British soldiers. Okay. So,
It must have been one hell of a kick in the butt to the Brits to have to surrender and admit defeat. I can't even imagine.
Yep, because
I would hate to be in those boats going back.
and face Parliament and the King after, right? Right? So, but they were favored right from the start, the British, But again,
DraftKings had him favored.
Really? King George, right?
The third.
Don't forget the third. To be exact,
minus 240.
Right. Okay. But again, thanks to our George Washington.
There you go.
Right. Okay. Again, the right person, the right man, in the right place at the right time, and thanks to the Continental Congress for putting him in charge of the Continental Army.
And thanks to the French.
And thanks to the French for their help.
Yeah.
Right. Both with men and military supplies as well.
Listen, I'm up against the break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about another rebellion.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And this and you don't know about it. Louis, why don't you take us out?
Okay.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao.
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-277-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler.
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Hello, this is Rico Petroselli. Now it's time for Mikey Screwatson. Time for Mikey. Oh,
Hi. Hold on. Take two.
Hello, this is Rico Petroselli. Now it's time for Mikey. Tell us more.
And following up, Professor Padova, regarding what we were talking about, the revolution, I don't know if you knew about New Hampshire. New Hampshire had oppressive pine tree laws
No.
And it was set by the Brits, and it created a little known colonial uprising in 1772. And Louis, it was actually called the Pine Tree Riot.
All right.
An early test of the British royal authority. It may have encouraged the Boston Tea Party, which we alluded to a little bit earlier. The thing with Britain, it had few trees big enough for the Royal Navy's ships, so the Crown reserved the tall white pines of northern New England for itself, and New Hampshire had a ton of them. The King's surveyors traveled the woods, and they would score the King's trees. What they'd do, Louis, they'd put like 3 slashes in a row, shaped like an arrow, and that was referred to as the King's Broad Arrow, and that's a term that was used quite frequently. People honored the law far more in the breach, in the premise, than they did in the observance. That's for sure. In 1721, one of the King's surveyors counted 25,000 logs in New Hampshire, all big enough to be masked on the English ships, but none, I repeat, 0, went to England. In 1722, another pine tree law decreed settlers couldn't cut any white pines bigger than a foot in diameter. The colonists then had to pay, believe it or not, for a royal license. To cut white pine trees in their own land. I mean, Jesus, why be upset about that? I don't know. The law wasn't enforced much, which you figure that probably because it wasn't easy to enforce. You're 3,000 miles away. In 1736, one of the King's surveyors sees the King's white pine logs right here in Exeter, New Hampshire, not too far from where we are. The enraged residents disguised themselves, and this sounds familiar to what you said, disguised themselves as Indians, and we can use the word Indians here. They beat up the surveying party, sank their boat, and chased them into the woods where they hid all night long. Now we're moving forward to 1766. King George III appointed John Wentworth, and I'm sure, being a history buff, you've heard about John.
Governor Wentworth.
Governor Wentworth in that beautiful house. Oh, yeah, right on Route 1. Don't get me going. Anyway, Wentworth's crackdown on violators caused, and this was the main reason, the Pine Tree Riot. And it got a little bit ugly, even for the state of New Hampshire. It got ugly. Wentworth sent a survey. His name was John Sherburne, to search the sawmills of New Hampshire to find white pine trees marked for the crown. And it was on April 13th of 1722. There was the mill owners were an organized group. And it was one of the head ones the name was Ebenezer Mugdet. And that's his name, Mugdet.
Ebenezer Mugdet.
Yeah, can't make that up. He was arrested by Sheriff Benjamin Whiting. Mugget said that he would bring bail in the morning, and they let him go home. They just, okay, you're going to bring the bail money in. That's good. That's all we want is the money. We'll let you go home. And according to the history, William Little's book, The History of Ware, New Hampshire, Mugget spent a busy evening with the townspeople planning the Pine Tree Riot. At dawn the next morning, Mugget burst into Whiting's room and told him he had his bail. Whiting was naturally ticked off because it was so early in the morning. Next thing you know, 20 men, all soot blackened face, rushed into the room. They held the sheriff down and they gave him a wicked beating. In the end, 8 participants in the Pine Tree Riot were identified in order to appear in court. And they were charged with rioting, disturbing the peace, and assaulting Sheriff Whiting. They beat the living crap out of him. That's what they did. The judges really felt bad, and they kind of sided with the rioters on this one here. And they ordered them to pay a fine of only 20 shillings and court costs, which 20 shillings was nothing. Some view the light fine of the Pine Tree Riot as encouraging the Boston Tea Party. Because they figured the punishment wouldn't be anywhere as severe. And one of the judges, by the name of Meir. His first name was Mesek Weir. And we know Weir, New Hampshire, Weir Beach.
Yeah,
he helped to frame New Hampshire's constitution and served as the first president of the state.
Oh.
And they had a president back then.
Wow.
The pine tree became a symbol. I say a symbol, Richard, a symbol of colonial resistance.
Wow.
The pine tree.
Who would have thought?
Patriots used it in the flags that were flown at the Battle of Bunker Hill.
Okay.
By the Massachusetts Navy, if you want to call it a Navy at that time, the Mass, and by the ships commissioned by George Washington for the Continental Army. And that, my dear professor,
is your history lesson.
Mikey, tell us more of the Pine Tree Revolt.
Very nice.
All right, good to know.
I mean, you walked in here this morning, you never heard of that.
No, I honestly haven't.
That's what I'm here for.
No.
So I went to Demoulas University. I know.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
Hey, listen, a lot of things going on this summer. Big celebration. You're involved in quite a few things.
Yes.
So let's recap what's happening here.
Okay.
Let's start with the Heritage Center because that's
okay. Sure. My main activity this summer, as with all other summers, is
the last
22 now.
22.
This will be my 22nd summer at Lawrence Heritage. Is working there as the summer interpretive tour guide. Okay. And everything is free, by the way. We do not charge admission.
I was going to ask you that.
Okay. So free, right? Walking tours, boat tours, museum
Tommy
tours.
Zappala, did you hear that?
So
no free food.
No free food.
Well, although if you come to the old-fashioned 4th of July celebration, yes, bountiful buffet there.
Nice.
Yes. Yep. So come see me July 4th. We usually get around 100 people there for this. It's an annual event. We all have a good time.
Look at Mikey's face.
It brings the community together, in a nice way, and we all celebrate our nation's birthday.
Nice.
It's kid friendly. It's a safe environment. So that'll keep me busy there.
I think it's wonderful. You give up, your holiday to be with the people.
Yeah.
And I know you do tours along the canals, at least you used to.
On the river, the Merrimack River.
On the Merrimack River.
So again, those will start July 11th this year, and then for the next 7 Saturdays after that, right until the first Saturday of September. But again, free, but you do need to make a reservation, 978-794-1655. So
you mentioned 4th of July, and growing up in St. Lawrence, I used to love 4th of July fireworks display.
Oh, yeah.
The city really, I mean, under Mayor Buckley. And
right. And the free bicycle they would raffle off, one for a boy, one for a girl.
Well, listen to you.
Right. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You must have been just a little pipsqueak.
But I remember, yeah.
But the fireworks display was by far, I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the one thing that the fireworks used to spin off were pieces of unburnt powder. And depending upon the fireworks, the aerials that were going up, they were all different colors.
Okay.
So we used to refer to them when we were like 8 years old, 9 years old, as flares, because they would be pieces, maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And if you put them on a flat rock and you lit them with a match, it would make this beautiful smoke and flame. It wouldn't explode, but that's how.
Thankfully,
yeah. So the day on July 5th, as soon as you could see, and then July, 4:30 in the morning, it's light. We used to get our Glenny milk bottles, Glenny's milk, and have 3 or 4 of those with us, and we'd go out in the fields where the fireworks are going off and where the wind would drift them maybe a little bit, and try and get as many flares. So we'd fill up 3, 4, 5 bottles of flares. We call flares. That's just a man-made day.
Yeah.
And we would get together. We had a little campfire. We used to light a fire at night and cook potatoes and whatnot and hot dogs. And the amusement was lighting off those flares. Sometimes we put 3 or 4 of them together. We used the long wooden matches so we wouldn't burn ourselves to death.
Right.
And the smoke, and Jesus. I mean,
yeah, the stuff you do as a kid.
just
you know?
harmless.
Yeah, harmless
you know?
fun. you
But
know,
it wouldn't
right.
be just, Tommy Amin and Tom McDuffie and myself. There'd be probably 15 kids out there hustling, trying to get with flares. And when you say 4th of July, and the people, the stadium would be jammed.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And that stadium held, 10,000 plus. And of course, it was real close to my home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I live on Exeter Street, which abutted the Veterans Housing Project.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, good memories.
I'm sure.
Good memories.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's what you want. So the American Revolution, it all started right here in our own backyard.
Yes, you can say that quite literally. Yeah, the shot heard around the world. Yeah,
That's
right.
Look how famous that became.
Oh yeah. So if you say that, most people they know exactly what you mean. So
Do you? Is there one thing in Boston that really hits you as far as the American Revolution goes? Easy, easy, my friend.
Well, where do I start? I mean, I don't know. There's, the Paul Revere House, of course, right in North Square in the North End,
right next to Maria's restaurant.
Okay. Well, I see what you're thinking now. But the food, right? Forget Paul Revere, right? You're thinking food.
No.
Right. The Old North Church, right? That comes to mind right away as well. Old Ironsides there, the USS Constitution, quite historic,
It's amazing how they keep Ironsides. I wonder if they use the white birch trees from New Hampshire to replace the wood.
Oh, good question. Yeah,
That's one of the best things about New England. You can stand in front of Paul Revere's house. You can stand in front of the North Church. You can stand in the building where all this happened.
Right.
So
Literally
such a connection.
Place yourself in history there. Yeah, right. Yeah.
North Church is incredible.
Yeah. And an excellent gift shop there too. They have.
They do.
Once you're done doing the touring, you got to hit the gift shop, right?
Then you got to get some cannoli.
And some cannoli. I mean, steps away, literally, right?
Forget Mike's. Walk a little further. Go to Martin's.
Martin's.
Yeah. I know there's that rivalry there. Yeah.
To me, hands down.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Richard.
Mike, thanks. Thank you very much. Yes.
My pleasure having you with us. It's always, and like I said, you're welcome. Anytime.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
When you're doing another book, let me know.
Okay.
Something. We'll
Okay.
talk about it.
All
I
right,
think that's
sure.
awesome.
Okay.
Listen, everybody, enjoy the weekend. And ladies, I want to wish you and Louie and everybody else wants to wish you a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. You deserve everything you're going to get, and you deserve even more because a mother's work is never done. Women work twice as hard as any man I know. And I mean that sincerely.
I believe it.
Listen, take care. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Ciao.